So every year, before WrestleMania, generally in the January to March area, WWE fans clamor about who could go in the Hall of Fame this year. For one, it's stupid because the WWE Hall of Fame has a lot of stupid people who don't really belong there. They're not necessarily stupid, but they're people who don't belong there. A lot of them. So, I have took it upon myself to come up with new criteria to select who goes into the Hall of Fame. Because the only way to make a legit Hall of Fame, really, especially in a sport, is to have legitimate criteria. In MLB, you have the 3,000 hit club. If you're a member of the 3,000 hit club, you're almost guaranteed to go into the Hall of Fame. What is it, like 500 home runs? You're going in, unless you did steroids, at which point nobody's going in. Just Babe Ruth, hang out in there by yourself. But, WWE doesn't have criteria. So I've come up with 5 criteria. And the way it's going to run is if you have 3 of the 5, you get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Seems pretty legit. I'm going to warn you guys, there are no women in the Hall of Fame right now. That's not a knock at the women. I started doing this for the main event level guys, and my god, it is exhausting. So, not happening. So for one, okay, criteria number 1, you need to be a former world champion. And the only titles we count are the WWE World Title and the World Heavyweight Championship. Okay, even the World Heavyweight Championship is kind of iffy. I don't know if I really want that to be in there, but it gives a lot more people a chance to get in. So, why is the WCW title not in there? Because it's a WWE Hall of Fame. This is the issue with the WWE's Hall of Fame in general. Because it's not the WWE Hall of Fame. It's supposed to be the Wrestling Hall of Fame. So you have a lot of people in there who did jack shit in the WWE, but are in there because, oh, in WCW I did this, and ECW I did this, and I don't know, some other dumb promotion I did this. So we don't want that anymore. Only WWE titles. So that's criteria number 1. Criteria number 2, you must have been in the company for 10 years. Why 10 years? Because 5 years isn't long enough. Okay, the only way you're going to stay in the company for 10 years, realistically, is if the company believes in you. If they think you're an important cog to the machine. So like people like, I guess Benoit, he was only in there for 7 years. I mean, that's more because of him killing himself, but, you know, now we have a little bit of reason to kind of exclude him a little bit. I got your back, Vince. It also helps eliminate a lot of people like that, who, like Wade Barrett, for instance, because the other criteria, people can filter in, even if they were never main eventers. This kind of blocks them out a little bit. So criteria number 3, you must have had an important mid-card championship reign. And my criteria here was you must have had the title for 300 plus total days. You didn't have to do it in one reign. So say you had the IC title 30 times, and every title reign was 10 days. Except the last one was 11 days. You would get in my Hall of Fame. I also counted the US title and the tag team titles. Because how fair is it that somebody like Edge, I think Edge was one of the people I had an issue with this for. You know, he didn't really spend much time with the IC title. I don't think he did. I can't remember what the number was. I made this list a long time ago. So, this prevents that. This guarantees that because he was such a prolific tag team wrestler, he would get in. Also, Jeff Hardy gets in by this. Because he had the WWE title, and he was, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, those are the first 3 of the 5 criteria. Number 4 in my criteria is they must have had important victories. I counted 3 things for this. The King of the Ring, the Royal Rumble, and the Money in the Bank. Again, if you want any of these things, the company believed in you. They wanted you to succeed. I mean, think about people who have won the Royal Rumble. Who is the most jobber jabroni who has won the Royal Rumble? And if you really have to say Jim Duggan. Think about that. Jim Duggan. In terms of the King of the Ring, Mabel, maybe? Billy Gunn? Money in the Bank, Mr. Kennedy. Jack Swagger. But aside from the Money in the Bank, the first two really eliminate a lot of people. But keep in mind, you have to have 3 of the 5. So not winning one of these things prevents somebody like Chris Jericho from not getting in. Okay, and number 5, you had to main event WrestleMania. Because realistically, if you never main evented WrestleMania, you really weren't that big a deal. I mean, think about who hasn't. Okay, I want to say I gave CM Punk a pass. So you CM Punk fans can calm down. The other issue I had was that there were a lot of people who weren't around before WrestleMania. They were around before WrestleMania. So for those people, typically there weren't the other 3 matches. The King of the Ring, Royal Rumble weren't invented yet, especially the Money in the Bank. So they only did 2 of the 3 criteria, because it's still 66%. It's about 60%. So it's fair enough. So right off the bat, what I did was I went down the WWE title list and just went from there. Okay, so Buddy Rogers doesn't get in. He had the world title, but he didn't do much else. Bruno gets in because for when he had his title, it was like 10 years, just that. So he gets in. Koloff doesn't. Pedro gets in because he also had a pretty prolific reign with the IC title. He actually hits all 3 of his 3 criteria, so he is one of the real legit Hall of Famers. Stan Stasiak doesn't get in, Buddy, I'm just going to say skipping ahead. Bob Backlund gets in because he's been in the company for a long time. I think he had a long IC title reign or something. Hogan gets in. Andre gets in. Randy Savage gets in. Ultimate Warrior gets in. Undertaker gets in. Ric Flair, Bret Hart, Yokozuna, Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash does not get in. Stone Cold obviously gets in. Kane gets in. The Rock gets in. Vince McMahon, he gets in. Big Show, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, Brock Lesnar, Edge, Randy Orton, Batista, John Cena, The Miz, CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, Del Rio, Daniel Bryan, Tito Santana, Billy Gunn, and Chris Benoit get in. Any Hall of Fame, okay, you're judged by 2 things when you have a Hall of Fame. Who gets in and who doesn't. By doing this, you really tighten the belt on who gets in. And by doing that, more people don't get in. So, by comparison, your Hall of Fame looks more legit. If you really look at the people I listed, I'm sorry, I don't have the list memorized, I have it on my computer. Benoit, he kind of deserves it. I don't think he should go in, but he kind of deserves it. I think Tito Santana was the weakest candidate. Del Rio's a pretty weak candidate, too. Miz, I can see why people would be unhappy with that. But they're the weakest candidates. Think about that for a second. If you could have a Hall of Fame where The Miz is your weak link, a person who's been in the company for 11 years now, he's held just about any title you can think about, aside from the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. He held the WWE title, main event in WrestleMania, won Money in the Bank, had the IC title 6 times, the US title like 4 times, tag titles a bunch of times. He's built many stars. That's your weakest person in your Hall of Fame. So Vince, if you're watching, as I always say, why not incorporate this? I guess you can't because it's too late. But I think this idea for the Hall of Fame makes too much sense. Any good Hall of Fame it's important who you bring in and who you don't. So by doing this, you keep out a lot more people. Then you don't have people like Coco Beware in there because Coco didn't do half that crap. So the Hall of Fame looks more legitimate. So when people like, The Miz get in there, it looks like a bigger deal. I think Dolph Ziggler could get in. Because I think he had 2 of the 5 criteria. Because I know how much the internet loves Dolph Ziggler. I think he only didn't get in because by this point, I stopped counting the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't remember why. There was a reasoning behind it. But if I did count the World Heavyweight Championship, he gets in. So again, pretty elite group. So, if you have any different ideas for how the Hall of Fame could work, or how tag teams or women or mid-carders would get in, because I guess they'd have to get in sooner or later. You'd run out of people. And then comment them. I'll read your comment. I'll like your comment. I'll probably respond to your comment. I'll comment to your comment. because I heard you like comments. But that's about all I have to say, so thanks for watching. Peace out.